Zimbabwe cash crisis worse. Talking about Venezuela once again.
Systemic important banks. They removed the one factor called monetary awareness.
Hey there, hope all is well. Back at you today with some RT News updates. As you can tell from today's title, Russia to build new nuclear missile system within the next 2 years. And it's very interesting how last night during the State of the Union address, President Trump referenced that since Russia is no longer playing by the rules, neither will they. So he's withdrawn the United States of America from the INF agreement, and that the United States of America will not be outspent when it comes to this arms race that's back on. So the question is, what is this all leading to, and why does Russia have a time frame of about 2 years? So as always, I got a couple articles here that I want to share with you. More importantly, scroll down below to read for yourself. But before I dive into today's articles, as always,
Recession.
Recession will be a recession.
We're going to hit a recession.
The date of the next recession.
You have the right plan to set up. You can make a lot of money from this.
So today I have a couple articles, and the goal is just to be short and concise, give you information to read for yourself down below. But before I dive in any further, I want to let you know what the INF Treaty actually is. And so here on Wikipedia, if you look it up, it talks about the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, formed between the United States of America and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, or Russia, was a 1987 arms control agreement between the United States and the Soviet Union, signed by President Ronald Reagan and General Secretary Mikhail Gorbachev on the 8th of December, 1987. The treaty was approved by the United States Senate May 27, 1988, and ratified by Reagan and Gorbachev on June 1st, 1988. The INF Treaty eliminated all land-based ballistic and cruise missiles and launchers with ranges of 500 to 1,000 kilometers and 1,000 and 5,500 kilometer intermediate range missiles. The treaty did not cover air or sea launch missiles. And it says by May 1991, 2,692 missiles were eliminated, followed by 10 years of on-site verification inspections. And so it says President Donald Trump announced on October 20th of last year that he was withdrawing the U.S. from the treaty, citing Russian non-compliance. The U.S. formally suspended the treaty on February 1st, as did Russia the following day. So that leads right into the very first article here. And so based upon President's speech last night and referencing that there's not any amount of money or something of that nature that will not be spent to ramp up this arms race for whatever we're getting ready for, of which I believe it has to do with war. But here at NPR as of today, it says Russia says it will build new missile systems within 2 years. Here we have some of the Russian leadership sitting down here discussing something. Give you an idea what's going on here. It says Russia's defense minister on Tuesday ordered work to begin on new land-based intermediate range missiles to be ready within 2 years. And so right there when I saw 2 years, the question is that a time frame to where they anticipated them needing to be ready to be used, or just a generic time frame of which they want to try to have their technology ramped up, and just in case, who knows? It says the moves comes in response to U.S. decision to pull out of a key nuclear arms treaty that symbolized the end of the Cold War. And as I think more about that, what really comes to mind is that over the last several years, as the U.S. has looked to invade and to impose ourselves within the Middle East region, Russia has been supplying their defensive missile system, which is the S-400 and some of the downgraded missile defensive systems there, which has thwarted the plans of the U.S. So I'd imagine that this whole narrative of Russia pulling out and not being compliant with INF has to do with the idea that Russia's technology probably exceeds ours at this current point. And from what I'm hearing in the alternative media space, we haven't really had any new technological advancements in our weapon system in the last several decades. So I imagine this all is tied in together. Scroll down some more. And then it's quoted here. It says, "Our response will be symmetrical," Putin said, as reported by NPR's Moscow correspondent. Quote, "If our American partners suspend their participation in the INF Treaty, so will we. And if they start working on new weapons, so will we." Then it says, Russian defense minister said he wants to work to begin on long-range hypersonic missiles that travel at least 5 times the speed of sound. So think about the type of technology that they're talking about working with. Hypersonic missiles that travel at least 5 times the speed of sound. That sounds very high-tech to me. The Associated Press reported. He said the new hypersonic missiles should be ready by 2021. The defense minister also called for new land-based launch systems for an existing cruise missile, the Caliber, which currently can be launched only via ships. And so if you scroll down, you hear more about that. And then the next article here. From the DW, it says Russia to build mid-range nuclear missiles after the INF Treaty withdrawal. So if you scroll down, more of the same information there with the time frame. And the next article here is from the courts. It says, a tough question, is the U.S. hurting Putin by pulling out of the INF Treaty? And so to answer that briefly, of course we're not. In my opinion, based upon all the information I've gathered over several years now, Russia is always, so for some reason, one step ahead of everything we seem to do over here. So it's good to say, if the defense minister talks about having missiles that can travel 5 times the speed of sound, it's good to say that they already have a missile that can travel 3 or possibly 4 times faster than the speed of sound already in the arsenal. So as of now, I don't know our technology here, but I'd imagine we don't have anything in comparison to that. So more information here if you're interested, read for yourself. But it talks about the Reagan and Gorbachev's New Deal and how that came about, and how for the last almost 30 years it's been somewhat stable, but yet right now we're in this new arms race, it looks like, as the East and West start to collide. Due to this restructuring that's underway, of course, at the foundation of is our monetary system. So these are articles I want to shine a little light on, just give you something to think about, but more importantly, we hear Russia talking about needing 2 years to build hypersonic missiles that travels 5 times the speed of sound. That lets me know that that type of technology there probably far exceeds what we have here. And so I can now understand how President Trump referenced that not being outspent when it comes to upping our abilities here to defend ourselves as well as to keep pace with technology around this world. So it's unfortunate that we are back into somewhat of an arms race for the inevitable, which means war to me. And the sad reality is that nothing good will come from this. And so if they're building nuclear missiles there, that means we're going to be doing the same thing. And God forbid that we actually enter a time where we actually have to use these things. But these are things that's being talked about in the mainstream news. So I thought I wanted to share it with you. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. And other than that, I'll see you guys later.